Okay, guys, let's go ahead and break down this first problem. Okay, make sure that you're text coding on your paper the same way that I am. It says a sweater is priced at $55. It's on sale for 65% off. Please make sure to underline the word off. Okay, how much is the sweater now? This is a two-step problem. First, we need to figure out how much 65% of the sweater is. And then the word off should tell you to subtract, okay? So put a subtraction symbol above that word just so we don't forget to do it, okay? So let's go ahead and set up our proportion. I'm going to do it kind of off screen so we make sure we have enough room. If you need extra paper, go ahead and get it now. Pause it, okay? So we're setting up our proportion. Now, the easiest thing to do first is put the percent where it goes. We always know the percent goes over the 100. So 65% over 100. Okay. Now, on the left side of the proportion, remember that a new price can go on top, but the original is always going to go over the bottom. Okay, so that 55 needs to go on the bottom, which means our X is here. So the first thing that we do is we are going to cross multiply and then divide by 100. Okay, so 65 times 55, 5 times 5, 25, 5 times 6, 30, plus 2, 32. Add my 0, that's a 3. Okay, 5 times 5, 25, 5 times 6, 32, no, 30 plus 2, 32. Okay, and then I'm going to add, so I have 5, 7, 5, 3. All right. Okay, and then if you don't know this trick, or if I didn't tell you, whenever you have a number like 3,575 and you're dividing by a 10, 100, 1,000, all you have to do is count these zeros. Okay, so this is 1, 2 zeros. So I'm going to take my decimal that I know is at the end because it's a whole number of 3,575, and I'm going to move it 2 spots just the same way I did with the 100. Okay, so 1, 2. So now I know that 65% of 55 is $35.75. Okay, so let's go back and look at our step 2. Okay, so it says that it's 65% off its original price. Off means to subtract. I'm taking it off the original price. The original price was 55. So I need to go ahead and subtract that. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 50. Oh my goodness gracious. Try again. Okay, $55 minus 35.75. Okay, if you can subtract this by yourself, awesome, go for it. If you can't and zeros give you trouble, I'm going to show you a trick. If you don't like it, do not do it. Okay, so I don't know what 55 minus 75 cents is, okay? But I do know that I can change this to 100 because there's 100 pennies in a dollar and take a dollar away from that, okay? So I did 55 minus a dollar. I made it 54. And then I turned this 0 into 100 pennies because that's how many pennies in a dollar. Now, what's 100 minus 75? We should all know that. Okay, 25. Now, what is 54 minus 35? I don't know, but I can subtract this normal. Okay, make this 14, make this 4. 14 minus 5 is 9, 4 minus 3 is 19. Okay, so that's my answer, $19.25. I know that was a lot, but that's how these percent problems are. They're very multi-step. Okay. When you're ready, go ahead and move on to the next. I'm going to do number 3 with you. You guys should be able to do number 2 by yourselves because it's the same as the first one. Okay. Number 2 says in a state with a sales tax rate of 7%, he buys a radio for $59.99 and a CD for $13.99. Okay, we should know that tax means to add. And it says round the cost of each item to the nearest dollar. That's great that they're letting us do that. So I'm going to change this to 60. I'm going to change this to 14. Okay. So my first step is to find out what the sales tax is of these 2 items that I'm buying. And then my second step is going to be to add it to my total. So whenever you're finding sales tax, you need to add first, then find the tax, then add it to the original, okay? So like on a receipt, you have a subtotal, then you have the tax, then you have your real total, okay? So our subtotal is going to be 60 plus 14, which is 74. So go set up your ratio or your proportion. Our total or our original cost always goes on the left bottom, okay? So that means our 74 is going to go here. And then super easy, we always know our percent goes over 100. So 7 over 100. Okay. That leaves a spot for our x. You guys know how to solve proportions, so we're multiplying and then dividing. I will help you multiply today. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 7, this is the hard one. What is it? 49 plus 2 is 51. Okay, so I have 518. So 518, oh geez Louise, that was terrible. So 518 divided by 100, I'm going to use my 100 trick. Okay, so 518 divided by 100, there's 2 zeros in 100, so I'm going to take my 518 and I'm going to move my decimal 2 places as well. So that's $5.18. That's my tax. Okay. Now go back to the problem to finish. Okay. Tax means to add. Okay. So this is my tax and I'm going to add it to my total. My total was these $74 that I found. Okay. So go ahead. Let's add that. Y'all add it and then see if I get the right answer. Okay. Don't forget when you're adding and subtracting with decimals, you have to line them up. That's not the case for multiplication. Okay, so we should have gotten $79.18 for our total. All right, go ahead and pause and finish. Number 4 is just like number 3, so you guys should be able to do it. I'm just going to give you keywords for the rest of the problems, okay? So make sure that you are highlighting or circling or whatever the stuff that I am, okay? And number 5, you have a weekly salary of $290 plus 5% commission, okay? If you didn't know that commission means to add, you have a plus right here, okay? So let's put an add sign just so we don't forget. How much would she make in a week if she sold this much money, okay? So whenever you're finding commission, you need to find the 5% of how much she sold That's my X. And then you're adding it to the salary. Okay, next is the same scenario. Okay, so her salary is $350, so she's automatically earning that. And then 7% commission on her sales, which was this much. So my proportion needs to show my percent over 100, and then how much she sold. Okay, and then once you get that, you add it to your salary. Okay, next is a problem about dinner. So you guys should have pretty good experience with this. Okay, so dinner costs $100, $125. They want to leave a 20% tip. Okay, tip means to add. So you're going to find that 20% and then you're going to add it back to how much dinner costs, and that will be your total. All right, next, same thing. They have dinner, $15. She wants to leave a 15% tip. Okay, so you're going to find 15% of 15 and then add. Tip means to add. And you add it to your total bill.